who do the powers that be in men's advocacy put forward as positive role models?
I don't honestly, I do not know. I do not. This is a question we had maybe a year ago. Who are the positive masculine role models for men? And I don't know. We didn't have an answer there. I have answers, but I'm not sure who they're supposed to be. Like, I think this certain type of advocacy really struggles to present a male role model, a healthy male role model, especially one that is masculine. And I'm still waiting for them to present one. Like, have you seen one? Like, who are we supposed to look up to if not all these manosphere men?
Well, it's the vacuum of any role models has left the gap that has been precisely filled by people that those supposedly providing us with role models say aren't role models, right?
Yeah.
Like the issues that you have are laid at the feet of the vacuum. I think very much the rise of the manosphere and whatever version that is, like the degen internet version of the manosphere, the proper one. I think that largely was laid at the feet of Jordan abandoning his conversation about boys and men. He moved on to other things. He moved on to talking about political issues and religion and faith and stuff like that. And he'd opened up a market. There evidently was a market. He'd inspired a lot of people to have these sorts of conversations, and it showed proof of concept that you can be very popular by doing it, but he didn't continue servicing the market. Yeah. So there was demand and no supply, which sucked in a lot of other people.
Well, I think Jordan probably gave up on that because he got so much backlash. Like, he clearly cares a lot about men and boys, and he must have been sick about being vilified for it. The same for like Warren Farrell. Like, he could have been a really great role model and champion for men and boys. No one really knows who he is, but he's a wonderful man, very thoughtful and sensitive, a lot like Jordan. And he was just, I guess, castigated. And I don't know, like, I can understand why Jordan would give up. I often feel like giving up too. And you're right that there is a massive lack of positive male role models, especially when you think about how many boys haven't got fathers at home and how few men there are in classrooms and how bad the role models are on TV, especially like sitcoms. And people like Andrew Tate capitalized upon that. He just stepped into that vacuum because he does speak positively about masculinity, whether you like it or not. He does speak positively about men and boys, and they just naturally gravitated towards it. I always like to think that...
Who could have predicted?
Well, I always like to think that his meteoric success, I think he was the fastest growing influencer in history. That massive success is exactly proportionate to our failure. That's how badly we've done. That's how big our failure has been. So if we need to stop pointing the finger at boys, calling them toxic and misogynistic or oppressive, and start pointing the finger at ourselves for not helping them, not talking to them, only ever talking about them, never talking to them. That's the real big problem. Like, we always talk about boys, we always talk about men. We never talk to them. Like, I actually spent last Friday on the streets of London just interviewing random men. And I'll tell you what, every single man I spoke to was fucked in his own unique, horrible way. Like, losing his children, addicted to alcohol, his parents are dying. Every single man was going through something horrific. And yet the archetype of men as privileged just does not line up with my lived experiences. And I get DMs every day from these men, like really, really struggling, often with the issues that we talked about earlier. And they're not being helped, and they're not even being seen, and they're actually being mocked a lot of the time. And those are the men that gravitate towards people like Andrew Tate, because we are not doing a good enough job, in my opinion. And so, like I said, like, instead of us fighting the manosphere, like this ghost, let's start actually questioning, are we doing a good enough job? Can we do better? And can we bring these men and boys back? Because I think we can. I think you already have. And I would give you, you don't need any more money, but I would give you a lot more support. Like, I'll be calling you every single day if I was at Movember. Like, Chris, what's the secret sauce? Like, you've got the secret sauce.
For instance, one of the things that I rely on you for is stats. I'm not balls deep in the data. I don't know what the cutting edge, most recent CDC intimate partner violence stuff is saying. So I have to pick it up from your Instagram or DM you. And, like, I feel like if you really wanted to make an impact, you would have a big email chain or some big folder, and Scott Galloway would have access, and I would have access, and you would have access, and everybody would be working collaboratively together. And that's not to centralize me in this. I'm hardly like the vanguard of like fixing this problem. My point being that when I look at important and successful social change campaigns, they work with the people who are already on their side, but the incentives align to push people away. If human tribalism is so strong, if you make someone feel like an other, they will position themselves in opposition to you. And I think you're seeing that an awful lot.
I relate so much to that. I feel othered so often. I feel let down, left behind, excluded, like shut out of the party so often. And it's so difficult. I have to take breaks, not because I struggle, like I'm not like running out of energy, but I genuinely feel like alienated. And I'm like, I don't want to become resentful. I don't want to become bitter. I need to step away for like 2 weeks. And I'm on a break right now, for example.
This episode is brought to you by Element. Stop having coffee first thing in the morning. Your adenosine system that caffeine acts on isn't even active for the first 90 minutes of the day, but your adrenal system is, and salt acts on your adrenal system. Element contains a science-backed electrolyte ratio of sodium, potassium, and magnesium with no sugar, no gluten, no coloring, no artificial ingredients, or any other BS. It plays a critical role in reducing muscle cramps and fatigue while optimizing brain health, regulating appetite, and curbing cravings. The orange flavor in a cold glass of water is literally the best way to start your morning. I've done it every single day for over 3 years now, way before they were a partner on the show, and I love it. Best of all, there is a no BS, no questions asked refund policy, so you can buy absolutely risk-free, and if you do not like it for any reason, they will give you your money back, and you don't even need to return the box. Right now, you can get a free sample pack of all 8 flavors with your first box by going to the link in the description below or heading to drinklmnt.com/modern wisdom. That's drinklmnt.com/modern wisdom. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you enjoyed that, my full-length 3-hour-long podcast with Eric Weinstein is available right here. Go on. Press it.